swimming at the Vesturbæjarlaug in Reykjavik at dawn. Tonight, we are going to Iceland, to a small neighbourhood pool in Reykjavik called Vesturbaejarlaug, in the hour before it opens. The sky outside is still the colour of wet slate. The streets are empty except for a few gulls and the sound of your own footsteps. Somebody who knows you is waiting by a side door with a key, and they're about to let you in before anyone else arrives. There is nothing to do now but follow them inside and let the warm water do the rest. Let your breathing slow down. Let's begin. The door is metal, painted a blue that has faded to the colour of old denim, and it opens with a heavy clunk that echoes against the concrete. The man holding it for you has a thermos in his other hand and a reflective vest zipped halfway up over a wool sweater. He doesn't say much, just tips his head toward the pool deck and tells you the water's been ready since 4. You step past him into the grey hush of the changing room, tile floor cool under your feet, lockers standing in quiet rows like they're still asleep too. Your voice, when you thank him, sounds strange in the emptiness. He just nods and goes back to whatever he was doing before you arrived, a hose coiled over one shoulder, unhurried, like this is the most ordinary thing in the world. You change quickly. The air outside the changing room has that particular bite of Icelandic morning, sharp but clean, a cold that seems to come from the ground as much as the sky. You wrap a towel around yourself out of habit more than need, cross the wet concrete, and there it is. The pool, completely empty, no swimmers cutting lanes, no children shrieking near the water slide that stands quiet and dark at the far end, no chatter drifting from the hot pots. Just steam, rising in slow ribbons off the surface, catching the little light there is, and turning silver before it disappears into the dark. You stand at the edge for a moment. The water is startlingly still, no ripple on it yet, nothing to disturb it. It holds the last of the night's stars in its reflection, though you can't actually see the stars themselves anymore, not with the city glow and the coming dawn washing the sky into something softer. Somewhere out past the pool's low wall, Reykjavik is beginning to stir, a single set of headlights sweeping along a street 2 blocks over. The far-off clatter of a delivery truck dropping crates outside a bakery. But here, inside this rectangle of heated water, none of that has arrived yet. It is only you, and the steam, and the man with the hose somewhere behind you, humming something under his breath that you can't quite make out. You let the towel drop onto a bench and step down the ladder. The first touch of the water on your feet is a small shock. Heat instead of cold, but a jolt all the same, that sudden meeting of skin and warmth. 38 degrees, warm as a held hand. You lower yourself in slowly, feeling the water climb your legs, your waist, your chest, each new inch of you adjusting to the heat in its own time. Your shoulders drop before you even ask them to. Something in your jaw lets go that you hadn't noticed was tight. You push off gently from the wall and let yourself drift toward the center of the pool. The water here comes straight from the earth, drawn up through pipes from somewhere deep and hot, beneath the lava fields outside the city, and there is a faint mineral smell to it, something like rain on warm stone. It doesn't feel like a chemical thing, the way pool water sometimes does elsewhere. It feels older than that. It feels like it has been doing this, warming people, holding them up, for a very long time, long before this particular pool was built, long before this particular city had a name. You turn onto your back. The water takes your weight so easily that for a moment you almost don't trust it. Some old instinct in you bracing for a sink that never comes. But it holds. Your ears go under, just below the surface, and the world turns muffled and close, the way it does underwater. Your own heartbeat suddenly audible, slow and steady, a small drum keeping time in the quiet. You let your arms drift out to your sides. Let your legs go loose. The steam curls up past your face in thin white threads. And above you, the sky has begun its work. It is still mostly black when you first look up. A deep, heavy black, the kind that feels close enough to touch, though a few of the brightest stars are already fading out of it, unwilling to compete with what's coming. You watch without trying to watch, the way you might watch a fire, letting your eyes rest on it rather than search it. Slowly, so slowly you couldn't say exactly when it happens, the black begins to soften. It thins at the edges first. Out past the rooftops you can just glimpse over the pool's low wall, and that thinning spreads inward, degree by degree, black giving way to something close to navy, and then to something closer to blue. Though even those words feel too simple for what's actually happening above you. You float. There is nothing else required of you right now. Your body has already learned the shape of this water. It's stopped bracing against it. It's just letting itself be held. The blue keeps changing. It moves toward a color that doesn't have an easy name, somewhere between gray and pink, the exact shade you'd get if you mixed wood smoke with the inside of a shell. This is the color Reykjavik dawns wear, for only a few minutes at a time. And you understand, floating here with your ears half underwater, why people get up early just to see it. There's no great burst of orange, no fanfare. It's just the sky becoming morning, one shade at a time. Somewhere off to your left, past the pool's edge, a single gull calls out. One long note, slightly hoarse, and then silence again. You don't open your eyes to look for it. You don't need to. You can picture it well enough, perched on the low roof of the changing rooms, or maybe on the diving board nobody's using yet, looking out at the water the same way you are, waiting for the day to begin. It calls again, farther off this time, and then it's quiet, and the quiet feels even bigger than before, the way a room feels bigger after a door closes gently somewhere in it. You drift a little, turning slowly in the water without meaning to, the way a leaf turns on a pond. The heat has worked its way fully into you now, into your shoulders, your lower back, that spot between your shoulder blades that always seems to carry more tension than it should. It has let go. You can feel your pulse slowing further, matching itself to something calmer, something closer to the pace of the steam rising off the water beside your face. The sky keeps softening. Grey-pink gives way to something paler, with a little gold folded into it now, low along the horizon where you imagine. Though you can't quite see it from here, the sun is beginning its climb over the water on the other side of the bay. The clouds, what few there are, catch that gold along their undersides, and for a moment it looks like the sky itself is steaming, same as the pool. You hear the maintenance man again, farther away now, dragging a hose across the deck, the rubber squeaking faintly against wet concrete. A gate somewhere creaks. None of it disturbs you. These are the sounds of a place getting ready for the day, that's all. You are still floating, still weightless, still held by water that came up from somewhere deep and hot, water that's been doing this, holding people up, letting them rest, long before you ever got here. Time passes differently here. You couldn't say if it's been 10 minutes or 30. The light keeps shifting, the pink fading further into a soft, ordinary daylight grey. The kind Reykjavik wears most mornings, gentle and low and easy on the eyes. Somewhere beyond the pool's walls, the city has properly woken now. You can hear it in small pieces, a bus somewhere, a bicycle bell, a door opening and closing. But none of it reaches you directly. You are still inside this warm rectangle of water, still turning slowly, still watching the last of the night finish leaving the sky. Eventually, you become aware of voices near the entrance, quiet ones, a murmur of greeting, the particular sound of people arriving somewhere they know well. You let your feet drift back down until they find the bottom, and you stand slowly, water sheeting off your shoulders, steam still rising around you, into air that has gone from black to blue to pink to this soft, ordinary grey. A woman in a bright red coat is coming down the path toward the pool, a swim bag over one shoulder, already smiling, like she's looking forward to exactly this. Somewhere behind her, another figure, then another. The day is arriving the way it always does, quietly, without asking permission, simply becoming true around you. You stay in the water a little longer, watching them come, feeling entirely unhurried about the whole thing. The gull calls once more from somewhere unseen. The steam keeps rising. And you understand, standing there in water warmed by the deep earth beneath a city just beginning its day, that you have been given something rare, an hour that belonged only to you, before the world remembered to ask anything of you at all. If you're still with me, I hope you're somewhere warm too, wherever you're listening from. Maybe already drifting, the way that pool water drifts a person towards sleep without them quite noticing. There's no rush to come back from Reykjavik tonight. Let the grey-pink sky and the sound of that one gull stay with you a while longer. I'll have another quiet place waiting whenever you need one. Sleep well.